All right, call this meeting to order. This is September 29th City Council meeting. Go to the roll call. We have all of our counselors here, including new counselor Benson, which is, well, old, new? Returning counselor Benson.
As old as new and new as old. There's some expression.
Yeah, if I would have thought about it longer, I probably would have.
Yeah.
Could have put something clever together, but I didn't.
That's okay.
But we're all here.
All right.
Open forum. So does anyone have anything that was provided for open forum discussion?
Nope.
Nope? You guys haven't got anything?
The only thing I got was more conversation about engine braking.
Engine
Okay.
braking.
Oh,
And
engine brake.
maybe I would say based on that, it seems like a very complicated solution to what they have to do to make that enforceable. But maybe we could throw on, or I could talk about it, my reports, an idea which seems like it would be very simple to just get rid of all the complication. So that's all.
Yeah, well,
So we're going to talk
Bring it
about
up.
it?
So just,
Yeah, I'll talk about, we can add it to the agenda, or I can bring it up and talk briefly about an idea which would, I think,
let's
solve
do
the issue.
council and staff reports, because
Yeah.
any proposal that gets put forward today in this short notice, we're gonna have to do some thinking on anyway. So then we
Yeah,
can-
I mean, hopefully not too much thinking. It should be pretty straightforward.
Okay.
So,
Well, if you
awesome.
found a silver bullet, that's great.
well, we'll see. Would that be something?
That'd be something.
Yeah.
Anything else for open forum? Hearing nothing else, close the open forum. Move on to the consent agenda. Typical 3 things on the consent agenda. This meeting's agenda, the previous meeting minutes, the payment of bills since the last meeting. Unless someone would like to pull something for discussion, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I would so move.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing, yeah?
Nope.
Okay, hearing none,
Nope.
we'll go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Moving on to the Planning Commission report. So, we have before us Resolution 2021-13, and I'll give a brief summary, and then if you have anything to add, you can let us know.
Yep.
George Wilkes, owner of the Angry Trout, is looking to do an expansion to his business. It looks like all of the setbacks are being respected here, and it's on property that was recently purchased from the North Wilkes School. And yeah, you got anything else to add to that?
Only that there were no comments either way about it, and George didn't present anything, so, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and it seemed like, it wasn't really going outside of the lines of the building anyway, or what anybody would observe as being the building, so it seemed pretty much like a no-brainer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say about that? And I do believe in conversations I've had with George
Yeah.
that this expansion would allow them to be open year-round.
Yeah.
Is one of the
that
things
was-
that they're also looking at for this.
Yeah, we have that in us.
So they had, part of their buildings were on property they didn't own before?
No, they
Is that right? I
bought a
thought
chunk of
it was
land
a chunk.
from the Dockside Fish Market property, from the North House Folk School, that they're going to expand into, and that gives them the proper setback so that they can build it. Actually, they don't need a
Oh,
sidewalk
I
setback.
see what you mean. That just gives them the setback.
They bought the
part.
land, and then they're
For-
building on it, so that they can have the additional space that they want.
The only
That's-
setback that's relevant down there is
Is the
from
one
From the
on the
water line.
shore, yeah.
So is that why there's a variance request? Is the shoreline setback?
shoreline setback.
Okay, and this addition is on the back side of the building?
Backside of the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that porch is already there, they just want to put a roof on it? Or a
Well,
roof
wall.
on it?
A wall.
Well,
On the backside.
I'll-
Anton could really talk about it.
On the north, on
So
the
the-
north side?
And then I'll talk about it, and then also when it comes time to vote, I won't vote on it because I'm the contractor for the project.
But this is
But,
already, a
so-
porch is already there?
There's a concrete apron there,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a spot, there's a door right there, and but then there's that shed, which is the bathroom basically, to the right, the existing
Yeah.
bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So all that's happening is that roof is just coming over to protect and give some shelter and a spot for trucks to be able to come in, or, you know, for them to be able to stack stuff up. And then same thing on the front covered alcove.
Mhm.
That's basically turning into a vestibule, so that, you know, the door in right now, the wood door, that's getting moved out to the edge of that porch. And so that area where the deck is right now and then over to the original bathroom will get all, that's all turning indoor, so you can actually use the bathroom without going outside.
And you come
Yeah.
in and you're not just gonna blast them like January air, I assume.
Right,
Yep.
yeah.
Two
Um,
doors.
Oh, so you said trucks, like how do they get trucks down there now?
Well, so now there's, if you look on one of those drawings, not that drawing, but the site plan drawing, there's a new, like, handicap ramp that's going in, because if you noticed on the highway project, there is no apron into that Angry Trout parking lot anymore, it's just solid curb.
Yeah,
So from the multi-use trail, there'll be a path that comes down and cuts down towards that shed that's closest to the highway, the storage shed. So that'll be the access, so people are crossing, going like across the slope instead of straight down it, because it's kind of steep. And then the ramp that's on the right side, that is between Dockside and their property line, that now will be the service entrance for all trucks. So they'll actually be able to pull trucks down there to unload down low instead of on the highway.
that curved one?
That curved, yep,
Okay.
Getting blacktopped right now?
getting blacked out
Yeah,
right now.
Okay.
Okay. So and that's between Fisherman's then and the Trout there?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll serve both places without having to be on the highway.
Yep. Any questions or considerations for Resolution 2021-13?
No, I would move to approve the Wilkes Variance Resolution 2021-13.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, any further discussion on this? Hearing none,
No.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Cool. Sounds good. All right, a couple of things for the fire department. So we have a new hire for the fire department, so if anyone has any motion or anything like that to hire an applicant, was that a motion?
No, that was me flying
Flying.
over,
Flying
sorry.
over. You gotta be careful, it's like an auction. You start
Yeah,
making, you start moving around
hands
pretty soon, you're
down.
making motions.
That's right.
All right, so we have an applicant, Sven Hoagland, he's within the response window, so wants to be on the fire department. Anyone?
Oh, and so does he live here in town? I didn't know he did.
My understanding is that just have to be within a certain response window. Like they have
Okay,
to be able
all
to
right,
show
gotcha.
up within a certain amount of time.
Ah, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
So.
Is
everyone's
that,
seen-
is that what they need? Is 15 the magic number, or like?
There is no magic number.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was high as, I don't know, when I was on it was 28.
28 minutes?
No, yeah,
28
my
people.
number was 28,
Oh,
so
your
it
number
was,
was-
there was
Oh, you're
28.
talking about people.
Yeah.
There was,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, their numbers are down, but they're trying to bring them up a little, so now they're at 15.
And
'Cause
when
it-
Ben was here going over his budget with the
Yeah.
council, he said he would take a dozen dedicated people and be happy with that. I think though that we'd like to
Yeah.
have a few more.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
okay,
It's all about getting people to respond to calls,
right.
because they're volunteers, so, you know.
Yeah, I was just trying to interpret the sentence, like if that meant, oh, that was the number we needed and we're all good again, or what it
Mm.
meant.
Just a
but-
little information, I think, because it's often a question, how many do we have? That's how many
Okay.
we have.
I remember when we were first on the council, he had 18, and he was saying 20 would be good. And so now he's at 15, and he's like, I'd take a dozen really good, dedicated people.
I bet.
You know, the conversation changes a little bit, but the bottom line is we need people to show up.
Yeah.
So, anybody have a motion for that hire?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you make a motion?
You make a
Have the motion.
I raised my hand this time.
You did.
And the
Motion.
fly is
Is
still
there a
sitting
second?
there.
Motion and a second. Any
Yeah.
further discussion? Thanks, Ben, for showing up for the fire
Yeah.
department. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Carries. All right, so now this next thing, there's a little bit of discussion that goes around it, but really what we're doing is we're just going to be approving a request to get a study done for different benefit amounts that can go for to our firefighters. So we have, now 15 people on our team here, our department, and that's not a ton. So our pension plan for that is doing pretty well. So because our pension plan is doing pretty well, the state accountant guy, lady, I don't know who it is, says we could do more, like we could give more to the people that we do have on there.
Mhm.
Now, that might work when we have 15, but if we have everybody retire all at the same time, that's not gonna be a good thing. So what this request is to send in, to have them give us more detailed information about what it looks like at the different benefit amounts, to make sure that at different levels of membership in the department, that we're still gonna be okay paying what we've dedicated to do. So really, all we have to do now is we have to authorize this study to be done, and then when that information comes back, then we can have an in-depth conversation about what works for the pension fund,
Okay.
and then what we want to do for the support. I was talking with Mike about this before, and I think that the
Mhm.
last time that we raised the pension fund amount was like 6 years ago. So.
I remember, I must say, we had that conversation, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't my
Because
imagination.
it went from 1,250 to 1,500, and we were just like, okay, that sounds like it should be okay. So,
And the fund is managed by Para.
Mhm.
We used to have our own actual fund that we had to manage through the Relief Association, and this is better.
this is
I
bad.
bet.
For all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
So does anybody have any strong feelings about that authorization request?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, well, does anybody want to make a motion?
I would move.
There you
that
go.
we,
There's a motion.
approve.
Got a motion to approve, or to do this benefit study authorization.
this,
Is there a
yeah.
second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Just so you know, the next step is they do the report and present it to you, and then you'll be asked the question about, do you want to raise it or not? So,
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, cool. Moving on to board openings. So there's two things on our board openings list too. One of those was between Tracy and Craig, who happen to both be on the PUC and can't both be on the PUC now that Tracy's been sworn in. So we have to just kind of make that formal.
If everybody just nods heads and understands what's going on, you don't have to take any action if you intend to keep Craig as your representative, because
Okay.
he currently is.
I can interpret Tracy's hand gesture to mean that Craig is going to be the city representative on the PUC, which means that we are looking for a member of the PUC as well.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
That's what it means.
So,
And, okay, so we're doing that. That's been made formal. And we do have an applicant for the Planning Commission, Tina Kraus, who put her name in for counselor as well, has put her name in for Planning Commission. So, anybody have any motions having to do with that?
I'd make a motion to appoint Tina Kraus to the planning commission.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Motion and a second.
Great.
Any further discussion? So thank Tina for putting her name in.
Yep.
We need a bunch more
Bunch
people
more
to be
Tinas.
ready to do that, so
Yep.
be ready to roll for that. Any further discussion?
I assume you have other subcommittee type things you want help with.
For you?
For you? Yeah, I don't think we came prepared to this meeting to give you lots of work, but,
Another time.
but another time.
Perhaps
Okay.
next meeting.
Next meeting, we'll go
Perhaps.
over that. We'll bring the list back out and we'll divvy up. But I mean, you could just take over what Kelly had. I mean,
Whatever that was.
yeah, we'll take a look.
Okay,
We'll take a look at the next meeting.
sure.
Okay, let's see. Discussion, any further discussion on the motion to appoint Tina Kraus to the planning commission? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
We do
Alright.
still need one more planning
I
commission.
know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We're doing that. All right, so the next thing that we have, we could, when I do my interview with their radio tomorrow, I'll run through what we need. We basically say, anything. If you want to be on it, you can be on it.
That's right. Well, anything that starts with P.
P, Park Board, Planning Commission, PUC.
There you go.
The 3 Ps. Got it.
Piberry,
The
All right.
Piberry.
It's my kind of berry.
Oh,
Library.
uh,
So the next thing we have is liquor license renewals. We get the joy of doing this once a year to cover the next year. We have our list presented before us. These people have all gotten their applications in. We have one more to add to this.
Okay. so
That is
yes.
Larson Brothers
Oh,
LLC, Birch Terrace, did get their information in. They weren't on the list, but they have their information in. So a motion to approve the liquor licenses would have to include that. So say the list plus Larson Brothers LLC would be good, or you could just say the amended list, either way. But that's what we have. This is something that we do to basically keep track for the state who sells alcohol in the city.
Okay.
So it's kind of a thing we do. Any strong feelings or motions?
Well, they expire tomorrow, so please approve them.
That would be the discussion. And you, sir, need to abstain.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I'd make
because
a
you are
motion
on the
to,
list.
I'd make a motion to approve the renewal of liquor license as the list is amended.
Okay. There's
I
a
would
motion, is
second.
there a second?
I
I'll
would second that.
Oh, he beat you to it.
We'll double it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
It's probably not necessary to mention, but we're short a few on the list.
Yeah.
So we'll go, I mean, not that we're here 2 months ago, but that we're here 2 years ago. You know, there's quite a few, both full liquor licenses and beer and wine licenses that are no longer in operation. Which is kind of sad.
Well, if you look at it, we have 2 full liquor licenses in the entire city.
We've
That's
had
kinda crazy.
4 pretty regularly and even 5 at one point, so.
Mhm.
So the two, oh, the Birch.
Larson Brothers, yeah, Birch.
Got it.
Any other comments on the motion to approve the liquor license list as amended? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, so we'll get that sent off to the state, so all that stuff is good to go. Next thing we have on the agenda is the Army Corps grant agreement. So this is for the stormwater pond at 8th Avenue. So a little bit of a background on this. We've been working with Soil and Water, and they've been working with the Army Corps to redo that pond so that it actually works, because right now it doesn't really work. It doesn't hold much water, 8th Avenue, right on the
below the.
west side of.
Below the highway,
West side of
Yeah,
8th
okay.
Avenue.
southwest
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And so what happens with the water now is that it comes into that place, it rushes in, it fills the place up pretty quick, and then it just pours out, and then pours down into the campground. So what they're looking at doing, and we're not exactly 100% sure on the plan, but what they're talking about doing is making, there'd be a 2-tier system for how water kind of gets out of that pond, so that it doesn't flood into the campground as uncontrollably. Like I said, we don't have a lot of the specifics on what that design looks like. We have been part of the conversation for the design.
Yeah, because they presented that
Mhm.
to us, right?
Yeah, and we kind of said, "Well, that one looks better than that one."
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
That sort of a thing.
right.
So this agreement is basically the agreement for that project to use the grant funding through Soil and Water and use $40,000 of government money to construct the improvements to the pond. So that's my understanding of this agreement that we're asking to approve right now. Do you have anything to add to this? Pretty much summarizes it.
Thank you, Soil and Water, for being an awesome partner.
Yeah. they've brought hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in to help us improve our, like,
Yeah.
the water that goes into the lake, so that's pretty amazing. So, does anyone have any other questions about this or motions about it?
So they have a final plan that they're ready to act on. Is that right?
I'm not sure if I'd call it a final plan. They certainly have an idea of how they want to do it. You know, it's not gonna be bid tomorrow, so I'm not sure I'd say they're final. Be happy to have them come back and present what the final plans look like at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't see when they were talking about the start date for this project.
Yeah, because they're not, and I mean, I expect it'll be next year, but really, we haven't talked about it for a number of months because we've been waiting on this funding source to firm up.
Got it.
And we are right now at the absolute end of the possibilities of this funding source firming up. It needs to be done by tomorrow, so.
So it's basically more about the funding, not
This
about
is
this is
The
what we're
grant,
actually doing.
this is an agreement to accept the money from the federal government
Okay.
through the Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay.
Not accept and just take our word for it, here's what you're getting. You know, I was
Yeah,
like,
we
where's
gotta
the
do-
design here? But now I
We
get
gotta
what
do
you're
this
saying.
before we
Yeah.
get to the bid process,
Right.
to the rest of it.
The rest of it.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
Mhm. Any more questions or motions or anything like that?
I would move to approve the agreement.
Okay, motion to approve the agreement, is there a second?
I'd second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Just to say, we'll be hearing more about this as the plans come through and as
Right.
we start getting more specific details. Anything
Great.
else?
I take it, I guess there is. I take it like the park has no other, there's never another need for that property for anything else. I mean, that's just what it can do. It can serve that purpose.
It's what the parks master plan imagines it's gonna be used for. I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't say there's never another need, because obviously the park property, every use would like to be there if it could.
Mhm.
But in this case, we have a couple of culverts that are coming across Highway 61 to dump out there, and that is a situation that's not gonna change, so
Sure.
this is gonna deal with it and use the property in a better way, I think, dealing with it.
Yeah, and that's, like you say, so the master plan already reflected that as a, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, so that was a lot of stuff that we kind of worked our way through pretty quickly. We'll move on to council and staff reports. So move up to Craig. What do you got?
I don't have anything. Not till next week.
Okay. Anton? Oh, you wanted to talk about air
He's got a
break.
couple things.
Just real quick, I've got EDA meeting next Tuesday, so we haven't had one because we do this once a month, so we'll have more information on all the doings at our next meeting about that. So my question was, there was an email which I was CC'd on, I don't know if you were CC'd on that too. There's the same folks in breaking. Then there happened to be, I think with all the topsoil that they were bringing in for all the sod.
Sod, yeah.
Like, there was one truck in particular where it was incredible.
Like down 8th, right? Like you come down 8th, would be Jacob?
I don't know, coming down, I mean, you could hear them from Pincushion all the way down past law enforcement. But, so, the email from the person in town was like, what's going on? Like, we've been talking about this, like, are you guys not doing anything with it? It was kind of, I don't know.
Frustrated?
Yeah, pretty frustrated. To which Pat responded that they're, Sheriff Eliason, that they are actually doing something, but they're going the route that I had brought up with that engine braking and engine noise is we call out MPCA rule about noise pollution in our ordinance. And so in order for them to actually be able to use that, they can't just arbitrarily stand there and be like, well, that must be over the decibels based on this graph from the MPCA. They have to scientifically figure out exactly if they're gonna measure it the distance away so they can find the two different axes on that chart, right?
Mhm.
The decibel level with a special reader, which they bought, and then a point and location where they can stand and say, okay, at this distance, this is the decibel reading, which is super clunky. Why can we not, I mean, why can there not just be the words "no engine braking" in our ordinance? Like, cause then it doesn't matter, then it's just, then there isn't this scientific thing, you can't engine brake. It's, no engine braking, it's 3 words. It goes into our ordinance in the, we have this thing about, is that considered, what's the wording that they use for like, not showboating, but like
Exhibition.
exhibition driving. There's very specific things about like loud music and about mufflers and about all this stuff. It's like, why put, I mean, I can understand why they haven't done it, because if they're gonna do that and they're gonna cite somebody, that means it's gonna go to the county attorney then so that they can be potentially prosecuted. They can't just say, we think it was louder than what even though it clearly is, and anybody would probably agree that it is, they have to have that proof. If we just went to the step of saying, no engine braking, then that's it. Like, that's our, whatever, like, why,
We don't have Chris
We
today.
don't have Chris today, I'm afraid.
and maybe not, but that's,
Well,
but,
I've seen
I
that.
was just like,
I've seen signs
where
like
is
that
that,
in other
Chris?
communities.
right.
And you can also attach times to it too. I mean,
I mean,
'cause
don't
I think
even,
I've seen that too. But
yeah.
If you're interested in knowing more about this, why don't I ask Chris to put a report together for us?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because then that
If
just
it's
takes
that
all the
easy,
science, it takes the,
let's
like,
do
takes
it.
all that out. It's
just
cut and
like-
dried pretty much.
because then it doesn't matter if you were quietly engine braking or loudly engine braking. You can't engine brake,
I don't know if there's a really quiet inspiration option.
All right, that wasn't me. That was someone's, you can just imagine where all the conversation would go.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I think it makes sense to have Chris take like for us to get Chris's professional
Yeah.
opinion on this, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly seen those signs as well. I don't know what kind of law there is behind it, but we can figure it out and let you know.
but I don't think that it, I mean, I think what we have is good, but I think the onus that it puts on the sheriff's department to actually make it enforceable is super difficult, right? I mean,
Yep. They can't enforce it with the.
like the no parking during snow, right? I mean, that's pretty clear, like somebody's parked on the side of the road, they're not supposed to be at a
Yeah.
certain time in the
That'll
winter
do it.
months, like, it's cut and dry. We're not out there, we don't say if there's only this much snow, you can't park there, because then it's like, well, I got this much snow at my house on the top of the hill, and I only got this much snow down by the lake, and,
Just don't park there.
it's like, it just makes it more complicated. You can't park there, you can't engine brake.
Hmm.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
Was that partially Pat's idea?
no,
Oh,
I mean, I got that, and there was another back and forth, and I was just like, God, why, this doesn't have to be that complicated, I don't think.
I just asked because I was thinking if it wasn't like like you guys are saying, maybe he already knew that other communities had this set in place, that he was
Yeah.
aware of it.
He did not suggest it to us.
Yeah.
No, but it seems simpler
Yeah.
than what, the way it's currently written. I mean, it was acknowledged that we do actually, like, it is an enforceable action to produce so much noise within a certain distance of the right center line. But again, the method at which that's determined then makes it harder for them to,
To actually do it.
because even, I mean, it's happening right in front of, they could be walking out to their trucks and not be able to hear anything happening because of the loudness of the trucks, but they still can't do anything about it because they don't have a way to, like,
Measure it.
right, to measure both distance and decibel rating. So, decibel level. So, anyway,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be easy?
Well, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah, let's hear about that. See what Chris can do that by
To
next
Chris.
meeting. You have anything else?
That's all.
Tracy, you don't have anything, do you? Want to talk about bathrooms?
No. No, I don't.
I just have.
Good.
We're not gonna have like a prequel?
No.
No.
You're right. No.
All right.
We
I
haven't
have-
built
You're
any
quick.
yet.
I mean, I missed you.
Awesome.
For what it's worth. Okay, so I have 2 things. Both of them are kind of more on the social, but still work-related thing. So on the 30th, October 30th, Visco County will be doing a stakeholder dinner in Lutzen, and that is, I think that Senator Bach and Representative Eklund will be there.
I think I canceled.
So there's information about, if you want to go, you
I
have to
think I
RSVP
canceled.
by the 12th. So I can send that information to Mike to have him send it out if you guys want to do that.
Okay.
We received the invitation today, so.
Oh, the gala got canceled.
Gala
Yeah,
got
we
canceled.
it's
This
replaced
is-
by this,
Oh,
which is invitation only, and they're trying to figure out how many of these are going to be on the list.
Ah,
Yep.
okay, gotcha.
Much smaller event.
So if you reach out to Mike, or maybe Mike can send it out to the council, that this is the RSVP information.
okay.
So, and then the second one is that the League of Minnesota Cities is actually doing the fall forums. And if you've never gone to one of these, they're really very interesting because you, depending on where you go, they used to be called regional meetings. They were, they'd have one in each of the major regions, and then the cities would go there, and basically it's a day where you can spend time hearing what League of Minnesota Cities is up to, hear about what kind of legislative planning has been happening, and that could impact our city, and then also have a lot of opportunity to network and talk about what your cities have been doing. I found them to be pretty interesting. I've only gone to a couple of them, but figured I'd throw the invitation out there if anybody wants to go. They have dates throughout October and November that are within shooting distance.
Yeah,
So.
Well, I know, we went to an annual one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I remember these, they, like you said, within a region, then there's a day in a
Mhm.
different city, right?
Yep. So like
It's hard to
November,
figure out what region we actually are in.
well, Virginia would be the obvious choice
Yeah.
for that one.
They put one on the
Mhm.
range pretty often, which is
Yeah,
nice.
there's one in
Mhm.
Virginia. That's on November 10th. November 4th is Vergus, which is kind of like
A long.
Lake
Terrible
Mille
drive.
Lacs-ish.
Fergus?
Vergus.
Oh,
V-E-R-G-U-S.
Oh, I thought you meant Fergus. I was
Fergus
like,
is
whoa.
forever away.
Yeah.
They have one in Bemidji, they've got one in Morris,
Mm-hmm.
Royalton, Redwood Falls, and then the one in Austin is on the 29th, which is,
That's really far.
so that ain't gonna happen.
No.
So anyway, if
Talk
you,
about
I'll leave
that.
this
I'm
out,
gonna drive to Austin,
Right.
Morris.
I'll leave this on the table if anybody wants to see it. That's all I have for reports. Do you have anything?
We had the library meeting, and it was a nice update there from St. John. The reading program, she pointed out, I guess it was also in our little update that we got from her as well. But the reading program and the story time both have rebounded really well from 2019, or from 2020, I guess it went down and back up. And that's been great. They've been very happy. They've had a lot of good response. There are people still doing the book bundle thing, and they're going to continue doing that. They also are receiving from the American Rescue Plan Act. They're receiving some funds from that, and it'll be about $4,800 that they're going to get. And right now, the idea is to use it for the public access wireless printer that they're going to have, so multiple people can use it and that kind of thing. And then also to continue to sustain their, what does she call it? Their Reading Ready Early Literacy program.
Cool.
To keep that going, that's 0 to 3. So yeah,
Yeah, that's the rule.
it's a great program. So yeah, that was it from
Do
the
they have
library.
someone now who focuses on kids?
They do.
Erica has been kind of spearheading that.
That part?
Yeah, she
Okay.
kind of just took right into that.
Mhm.
She's really good at it.
She's great at it. She enjoys it, and she's been up at school. It's been really great to have her come up there and be in the classrooms and that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
Anything else? Any other updates or reports?
Yes, terrible, terrible news.
Oh, great.
Rita's not on the park board anymore because she is moving to Kodiak, and sadly so is Hayden.
Oh,
So, we will no longer have Hayden with us after next week. Which is a bummer because Hayden's great. So,
Wow.
we're looking at that. It was really, we were about ready to go through that job description anyway and get it updated because things have changed quite a bit in the few years that Hayden's been with us. The way we operate and the duties that it has. So now we'll be going through that process and we'll be bringing it to you for some approval. The bottom line being, it's gonna take a little time and we don't wanna rush things because with Hayden, we realized how nice it is to have that set of skills, customer service and technical skills all in one package, and we really want to make sure we get this right when we try to replace it. Even though it seems very done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
I guess that's good for him and bad for us.
I hope it's
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not, he's always welcome
He's
to come
welcome to come
back.
back.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And we offered to put the big screen up in the lobby and just have Hayden's face there, and he can work from Kodiak, but so far he hasn't taken us up.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, he will certainly be missed. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been a great addition to the team, and like you said, Mike, we'll definitely take our time in trying to find somebody who fulfills the expectations of the position as well as, or as close to as well as Hayden does, so.
And so all that means for us is we'll be thin for a bit. And I don't think that'll affect, certainly won't affect how we're going to interact with you in council meetings, but we may have to scramble a bit to maintain office hours and such
Okay.
next month or two. But honestly, this is a really good time of year to have that problem because hopefully things will slow down a little bit on the traffic front and our projects are winding up and it's really more of a planning and looking ahead time right now anyways.
Mhm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Anything else?
Did you guys put out anything for linemen yet?
Yeah,
Have you got anything back yet?
we've received applicants, we're reviewing them right now.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good,
Very
Yeah,
cool.
we're excited about it.
good. Well,
Anything else? Great. We have completed our business for the night, so therefore we are adjourned. Thank you.